Coming up.
And this is something that's really interesting. This is like something from Japan. It's a really beautiful centerpiece and it's not that expensive, and a lot of the houseplants can go in this kind of arrangement.
Plants are good for your health, and the majority of the plants you see here can be comfortably grown indoors. Plus, if you have a green thumb and like rare plants, you'll love these. Could sugar be sneaking into your food? We'll show you all 64 ways to identify it. Jenna takes you to this Art Deco hotel, and I'll teach you what I've learned about running today on SoFlo Health. Hello and welcome to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, and today we're at Perfect Choice Nursery in Southwest Ranches, and we're bringing the outdoors indoors, even though we're currently outdoors. These plants that you see are meant to be either in some shade or indoors with you. We like the idea of bringing nature inside. We've talked about the benefits of plants in the past and how they give off more oxygen, and they're basically little air scrubbers. We'll teach you how to take care of a basic plant that's pretty easy to take care of, all the way to the more advanced and exotic plants you may have never seen before. But if you want to see them, you have to keep watching SoFlo Health, and first, watch this. On SoFlo Health, we love going for a walk, or a run, or jog, or whatever suits you. But have you ever gone for a run, walk, or jog and started to feel some creaking in your knees or some shin splints, or you just don't feel like it's too right? You enjoyed the walk, but then later on you're paying for it going, ooh, ah. Well, we're here to help you solve that. In the past, we've talked to people like the Urban Barefoot who have showed us how to walk properly. It makes a big difference. You should start out with hitting your heel on the ground, then the side of your foot, your pinky toe, and finally your big toe should land, and then you should push off from there. However, if you're running, it's a whole different ball game because you don't want to be heel striking. That's going to cause you some pain. You're going to put most of the pressure on those front joints, and that's when you start to feel sore in your hips later, or you get knee problems, or you're just starting to feel that shin splint sensation because you're constantly putting all of that pressure forward. According to other guests we've had on SoFlo Health, there's also a proper way to run, and it's not by heel striking. You should land on the center of your foot somewhere. How you'll know it'll feel right is you'll feel nice and stable when you land. You should be stacking your shoulders, your hips, your knees, and your ankles when you land, and that evenly distributes all of that force. We've even talked about shoes in the past, and they make a big difference. In fact, that's a reason that a lot of people do heel strike. It's because shoes have big, thick heels on them because people were having pain, so they put bigger pads for the heel. However, if you run properly, then other shoes could be more available to you. In fact, I'm going to show you on my shoe because nobody wants to see my feet. So again, when you're landing while walking, you want to hit the heel first, then the outside of your foot, then your pinky toe makes contact with the ground, and finally your big toe, and you bend off. When you're landing while running, you want to land somewhere in the middle, more towards the ball of your foot, and let the rest of your foot land and then launch back off on your big toe. So it's almost the opposite when you're running. For example, have you ever had to run barefoot and you suddenly realize that hitting the cement on your heels hurts a lot? So you instinctively go onto the balls of your feet and you're kind of leaping like a gazelle almost. Well, that's how humans are meant to run because yes, it does hurt to be constantly landing on your heels. We want to use all of our muscles and we want to stack our body so that we're able to evenly distribute the force, and we'll feel a lot better when we go for that walk or a run. All right, I'm going to lace back up and keep moving. Whether you're walking, running, or going for a jog at your own pace, it's a good idea to keep some of these in mind. Now, I'm no expert, and if you've been doing this yourself for a long time and you have no aches, no pains, and you've got great gains out of it, then keep doing it that way. However, if you're new and you're just starting out and you needed a few tips, maybe try some of these. Back to the walk. With me at Perfect Choice Nursery, we have Melody A. Melody, you are going to tell us about taking care of these plants throughout the show, but right now there's a specific thing you wanted to make sure that our viewers know, and what's that?
So the most common question that we have when people come to the nursery is if it's indoor or outdoor plant. So I always tell them, please look up, and if you see that it's in a covered area, it means it's supposed to be in a covered patio or someplace where it has bright and direct light.
Right, so we need some sun.
Yes, some sun.
But
yes.
these plants generally don't need too much.
No, you don't want them to have too much sun or else they're gonna burn, especially with this like Miami heat. So you wanna make sure that they're in a covered patio, still getting that light, but definitely has to be filtered.
All right, so if you have this plant in your house, would it be something you put in a certain spot for a little while, or do you just have it in a place that gets some sun throughout the day? Or?
Well, you want to make sure if you see that it's growing and it's happy, then keep it in that same spot. But something like this one can go a little bit away from the window, but this one right here needs to be somewhere closer to the window, getting more light.
And that's why you would ask somebody like yourself, a plant specialist, because I can't tell the difference.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's good
totally
to know.
Different, yeah.
Well, you have so much more to teach us throughout the show today, but first, you have to watch this.
SoFlo Health's Healthy Travels, sponsored by GBG Travel.
Ocean Drive is known for its fun, vibrant atmosphere, but tucked away below 5th Street in a residential area is a little tropical oasis known as the Balfour Hotel. I've got my linen on. I'm ready to jump in the pool. Let's go find out everything the hotel has to offer from James Moore, the general manager. James, thank you so much for having us here at the Balfour Hotel today.
Absolutely.
This hotel is such a hidden gem here in South Florida. So what makes it so special for tourists new to the city and then for anybody that lives here and wants to have a fun staycation?
Absolutely. First of all, I would say it's the location. We're located at 350 Ocean Drive. You check into the hotel and you don't have to worry about anything else. The hotel is themed. It's a Colombian theme throughout the whole hotel. You'll find it in the decor and the colors, and then it just carries throughout the property, through the courtyard, the pool area, the different decks that we offer, and also the sun decks.
And some of the things that you offer out on the pool deck and in the courtyard are trampoline classes, meditations. Talk to us about that.
Correct. So we partnered with two companies, Synergy Yoga, for those who want more of a quiet, relaxing meditation, where they can still, enjoy what they do at home, and they can also get it when they're on vacation. And then we also offer LEBOUNCE trampoline classes for those who have a bit more energy, who want to get revved up for going out at night, who want to have a lot of fun, something different. I encourage people to take that class. You're going to definitely get a full workout. It is definitely fun, and I think you're really going to enjoy it.
All right, well, I'm going to take your word for it, and I'll
Perfect.
probably come back exhausted, but I'm going to go try out those trampolines.
Excellent.
So the first thing we want to do is literally just get moving on that trampoline. Establish that trust of this brand new kind of surface under our feet. From there, the most important thing that we want to do when it comes to bounce is allow ourselves to be grounded in the action. So we're going to lift our knees one at a time, just like so, allowing those arms to move with the action to make it feel like we're just moving casually on that rubber. Now this is where we're going to take it up a notch. We're just going to add a little speed, and as we do so, you're just going to let your weight fall from one leg to the other. 1, 2, 1, 2. We got a natural right here. Excellent. So we keep using those arms. We bring the knees right up into the belly, and we're just letting it flow right here. In 4, in 3, in 2, and that's a wrap.
That was a workout.
Great job, great job.
Thank you for that.
Great job, great job.
All right, I'm going to go find a bed somewhere and lay down. I'll see you guys next time.
SoFlo Health's Healthy Travels, sponsored by GBG Travel.
Stay planted right there. Still to come on SoFlo Health, rare plants, a visit with the Brain Center, and what to look out for on food labels. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie. This is Melody. We're at Perfect Choice Nursery. Earlier, we showed you some pretty exotic plants that are kind of difficult to take care of, but
Yes.
luckily for you, Melody has some plants that are easy to take care of, correct?
Yes, I do. This is our Monstera Addisonii, aka Swiss cheese. This is one of the easiest plants to take care of.
Okay.
This grows really fast. It climbs up, goes down, and it's easy to propagate.
What is propagating?
So propagating is when you take a cutting of the plants, and these have really visible aerial roots, so they're easy to put in water. You can put it in dirt, and then that makes you a whole new plant that you can gift to somebody.
Very cool. Well, there's still more to learn here. In fact, we're going to talk about arranging some plants,
Yes,
yeah?
yes.
That's over there?
Yes, over here.
Let's go over there.
Yeah, let's go.
We promised you to show you some arrangements, so Melody has some arrangements.
Yes.
Why is that important?
It's important because it gives you a little bit more of like a edge in your home instead of just having it in the nursery pot, where you can have it really nicely arranged and you can put it in a centerpiece when you have a dinner or as a gift as well. We do custom arrangements too.
Right. The plants look beautiful on their own, but
Yes.
sometimes they need a little help in our house. And what are some of the examples that we see around us?
So we have our orchids. This is the most popular items that we have for arrangements, and it's easy. We just put some moss on top. We also have our like desert kind of arrangements here, which are really nice for like centerpieces. We also have a kokedama here that's wrapped in moss, and this is something that's really interesting. This is like something from Japan, and it's a really beautiful centerpiece, and it's not that expensive, and a lot of the houseplants can go in this kind of arrangement.
So it's a living plant
Yes.
in living moss?
Yes.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. All right, well, as if there wasn't enough to see, we still have more SoFlo help ahead, so stay with us. We're at the FIU main campus, and today I'm joined by Tamara of the Brain Center. And before we get started, we are going to remove our masks. The Brain Center has so many programs. Tell me about some of them and what you want to focus on here today.
The Brain Center has several programs, but today we want to talk a little bit about Alzheimer's. As you may know, it's a large and growing population. Unfortunately, projections for the future are rather high. We created a program specifically for the inexperienced caregiver of a person diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia. The caregiver gets to actually have the experience, more or less, of what it's like to have dementia through an exercise called Dementia Live. Essentially creates certain sensory barriers for the caregiver so that they kind of experience a little bit what it's like for their loved one. You know, the best way of helping our Alzheimer patients, aside, you know, from having great doctors, which we have, is to help the caregiver, because the caregiver really is stressed out, and oftentimes they're making things up as they go along. But really there are techniques, there are proven ways to provide better care for people. And so we created this program to teach people basically a lot of these really useful techniques, and also how to better manage their stress.
Dr. Gonzalez, tell us, for those that don't know, what is Alzheimer's?
So Alzheimer's disease, unfortunately, is an irreversible, progressive brain condition that slowly destroys our memory and thinking skills, and eventually it gets to the point that it impairs our ability to even carry out the simplest tasks.
Somebody's watching right now and they say, okay, well, maybe there's some risk in my family, but how would I know if somebody has symptoms of Alzheimer's?
So the main symptom is memory impairment, especially difficulty remembering recent events. Visual spatial impairment is basically our ability to recognize where objects are in space and how they relate to each other. And lastly, also there can be signs of impaired judgment or reasoning.
I just want everyone to know that when you're dealing with a stressful situation, information, knowledge, education is very important, and you can always come to the Brain Center and get that. We have people that are available to answer questions, not just on the phone, but also via email. You can look us up at our website, and please don't hesitate to call. We're there to answer any questions and help you as best we can.
Don't miss the first annual Live Like Bella Pediatric Cancer Research Symposium, Friday, September 24th, and Bella's Ball on the 25th at the Intercontinental Hotel Miami in honor of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. For more information, please visit livelikebella.org. Nothing says sugar like crystalline fructose. The many names of sugar and how to use food labels to your advantage when SoFlo Health returns. You met Melody earlier. Now we're with Paula, and we're inside of the Aeroid greenhouse. You see a lot of interesting plants with an exotic look. Tell us what's special about this room.
So what's super special about this room is that all these plants come from different parts of the world, and what's really special too is that they have all this like variegation, and that's something that's really hard to keep with these plants. You have to have them in the right environment, the right humidity, in order for them to grow stronger and bigger.
Right, and that's why we're in such an interesting room. We've got fans going in the back, we've got waterfalls going. It's extra humid in here to make sure everything's just right.
Totally, yeah.
You said variegated. What does that mean?
So variegated is with when the plant is like lacking chlorophyll, and you need to make sure it has bright and direct light and a lot of humidity so this doesn't go brown. So that's really important to keep that variegation going throughout the plant.
And is this another form of variegation here?
Yes, yes. So this is something that's really rare. We have this plant locally outside, and it's a regular ZZ plant, and it just has variegation. Also this is also, we have it outside as well, but it's just variegated.
And there's more to it than just the variegation.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and put these plants back and keep going. Follow us. Holy smokes!
Yes! So this is our Philodendron maximum. This is the showstopper here at the greenhouse. Whenever somebody comes in here, I'm like, please come to the back. I have to show you this amazing plant.
Yeah.
So this is awesome.
This looks like something out of Jurassic Park.
For sure, yeah. It's like the size of our bodies.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
And before we move on, tell me, what do you do at Perfect Choice Nursery?
So what I do is I help bring all the plants from our other greenhouse and our other location. I bring them here and I help set up. And I price as well, and I arrange, I organize, and I clean.
And Paula, what is Perfect Choice Nursery all about?
Perfect Choice Nursery is all about family, it's all about community. It used to be more of an exterior landscaping business, but because of the huge houseplant craze, we just went to that direction.
So you can, if you're looking for plants that are indoor or easy to take care of, or even hard to take care of, that might be rarer, you can find them here.
Yes.
Exactly, exactly.
All right, we still have a little more to see in here, so let's keep going.
All right, cool. Yay!
Wrapping up our tour here of the Aroid greenhouse, we have some crazy, exotic, rare plants. What makes these so special?
So what makes these special is the variegation. This is something that doesn't really happen. It's kind of like a defect that the plant has. So when it comes out, it's very special, and if you want to propagate it, it can eventually turn like green. So to keep it is very hard.
And then this is the Philodendron jopii.
This is also a very rare plant. What they say is that it kind of like looks like ants were eating it, so that's what
Yeah, it
really
looks
makes
like a
special.
mistake.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is this kind of like toy dog breeds where it wasn't supposed to happen, but we like it, and we're like, let's keep it this way?
I think they discovered it this way, and then I guess they thought like, oh wait, it looks like ants were eating it, but when the leaves are coming out that way, they're like, oh, it's really like that.
Thank you for sharing this with us. There's still more to see, but let's put these back because they're pretty rare and pretty rare.
Yeah.
Let's go. Labels. They are everywhere. In fact, within an eye shot of you, there's probably something that has a tag or a label on it identifying what it is or who made it. But this is probably the most important label that you can read, oh, top 5 at least. The nutrition label on practically every food item is very important because it tells you a lot about what you eat. Let's go over a few tips of how to make the best use of this label. First things first, serving size. This should be the first stop in your label scan to understand what a serving size looks like. And remember that the numbers below would change based on the serving you consume. For example, if you typically eat 2 servings, you'd need to double the numbers that follow. 3, triple, and so on. Next, calories. You should review the overall calorie count to see what nutritional value a food provides. It's important to consider how many calories a food will provide so you can figure out how that food fits into your daily intake. Next up are carbohydrates. It's important to keep in mind the net carbs that you consume. A simple way of calculating this is taking your dietary fiber and subtracting that from your total carbs, and that gives you your net carbs. And yes, that's an oversimplification. We'll get more into net carbs in another show. And then there were fats. You want to make sure that you're getting some unsaturated fats in your diet. You want to avoid the trans fats and just be careful with the amount of saturated fat that you have in your diet. Another one is sodium, or as we know it, salt. Some foods are surprisingly high in salt per serving, or sodium amount per serving. You want to try and keep this number around 2,300 milligrams. Next on our list is the ingredients list. It's generally in fine print, so you don't look too hard. And here, less is usually more. The fewer ingredients, generally, the better. And there's one ingredient that's particularly sneaky, and that's sugar. How sneaky is it? Well, food manufacturers have many names for sugar, like sugar, dextrose, fructose, galactose, glucose, lactose, maltose, sucrose, beet sugar. Beet sugar? brown sugar, cane juice, crystals, cane sugar, castor sugar, coconut sugar, confectioner sugar, corn syrup solids, crystalline fructose, date, demerara sugar, I think, dextrin, diacetic, ethyl maltol, Florida crystals, golden sugar, glucose syrup solids, grape sugar, icing sugar, maltodextrin, muscovado sugar, vanilla sugar, raw sugar, sugar, table, substance, terminal sugar, yellow sugar, agave nectar syrup, barley malt, black chocolate molasses, brown rice syrup, butter sugar, buttercream, caramel or caramel, depending where you're from, hard syrup, corn syrup, evaporated cane juice, fruit juice concentrate, lemon syrup, high fructose corn syrup, honey, invert sugar, malt syrup, maple syrup, molasses, rice syrup, refined syrup, sorghum syrup, and you get the picture. And if you were counting, that's essentially 56 different names for the same thing, sugar. And the last label we'll cover is that little sticker you have to peel off of your fruit and vegetables. It's actually packed with information. If you see a 4-digit number, that means your produce is conventionally grown. And a 5-digit number starting with the number 9 means it's organically grown, which also means that it's probably smaller, more expensive, but tastier, and even possibly better for your health. So, a 5-digit number that starts with the number 8 means it's GMO or genetically modified. More on that in a few weeks. There you have it, a brief overview of the labels and stickers on and around your food. If you'd like to learn more, you can always head over to fda.gov/food labeling nutrition. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie. Today we have spent the day at Perfect Choice Nursery, and for good reason, because plants are not just beautiful and healthy to be around, they're part of your home if you want them to be, and you can customize it to however you like. Earlier we saw more modern looks. Here we have some more rustic looks and some zen feelings. You can really make it whatever you like, and it's good and healthy for you. Do you know who else likes to decorate with plants and more? ALENA CAPRA. Hey ALENA, what's going on later on SoFlo Home Project?
Hi Hunter! So today we are going to show you how to elevate the look of your home with green spaces, even if you lack a green thumb. Coming up on SoFlo Home Project, we get expert advice on creating beautiful and low-maintenance green spaces.
Thanks a lot, ALENA. We'll be watching. Thank you to everyone here at Perfect Choice Nursery for taking good care of us, teaching us all about plants, whether they're exotic or just simple and easy to take care of. We really do appreciate it. And we hope you've enjoyed this episode of SoFlo Health. As always, you can watch previous episodes of SoFlo Health on SoFloHealth.com. You can follow us using @SoFlo Health to share with us what you're doing to stay healthy. And until next week, it's goodbye and good health. Next week on SoFlo Health, Morgan shares some do's and don'ts in the gym, we take a drive for your health, and Chef Ray cooks up quick, healthy meals. We'll see you then.